Three children's bodies placed inside black plastic bags. People found them in the Haram area, specifically under Mariouteya Bridge. During that period, child kidnapping and organ theft crimes were widespread, but the forensic medicine department had a completely different opinion on this case. In 2018, a young Egyptian man was going to work in the morning and noticed three black bags thrown on the ground, with a very bad smell coming from them. The young man approached the three bags to open one of them and found traces of blood. After that, he opened the second and found the child's body torn and disfigured. He quickly informed the police, and the security services moved to the location of the three bodies, established a security cordon, and summoned the forensic lab personnel to uncover the circumstances of the incident. The news that was said about this crime during its occurrence from the media and social networks was that the three children were between 4 and 6 years old, and that the security services had the bodies torn apart and the internal organs removed. In order for the issue to be at the forefront of the media in the form of kidnapping children and stealing human organs, which was widespread at that time, and during that period, a large group of crimes of kidnapping children and stealing organs were actually widespread, and for that reason, any information that could be said about these three bodies would certainly be believed. The three bodies were sent to the forensic medicine department to issue its report and clarify the real causes of death. From here, almost everything changed completely. The first result in the report is that these three children are not siblings. Only 2 of them are sisters, but the third has no relation to them because the effect of the assault and the removal of organs in the bodies of the 3 children was done in an unmedical and unscientific way. This means that no one specialized is the one who removed these organs from the bodies of the children in order to transplant them into the body of another person, because stealing organs in the first place must be done by experts, specialists, and doctors. Secondly, I saw in the forensic medicine report that all the deformities on the bodies of the 3 children were done randomly and completely unscientifically. What was also clear in the forensic medicine report was that the mutilation was done deliberately in the face of 3 children so that the features of the 3 children would be hidden and it would be difficult to identify them, which means that there was no organ theft in the first place. The second surprise is that the real cause of death of the 3 children was suffocation and asphyxiation due to the fire, and that all the deformities that occurred in the children's bodies occurred after death and did not occur due to suffocation due to the fire. From here, almost all the features of the case and all the information that was said at the beginning about the case were actually wrong. The security services searched through all the reports submitted regarding the kidnapping of children or the disappearance of children in the period close to the presence of these 3 children in Mariouteya. Here, the security services found the following: the existence of 2 reports from 2 families in an area about 40 kilometers from the location of the children's bodies. These reports confirm the disappearance of 3 children, 2 of whom belong to one family and a child belongs to the second family. 2 families were summoned, and they actually confirmed that their children had disappeared. And when they showed them the children's bodies, the security men recognized them, which caught their attention. The thing is that when the 3 bodies were shown to the 2 families, the mother's reaction was a bit weak, much less than expected. The security forces intensified investigations in the residential area of the two families and discovered that the neighbors said that a fire broke out in the house of one of the families and that the fire was very strong but was extinguished. A day after the fire was extinguished, the three children disappeared and no one knew where they were. They filed reports of the children's disappearance. This report was filed about a month and a half before they found the children's bodies. This explains the main reason for the presence of the children's bodies in a rotten state. Here, the security forces conducted an investigation with the family where the fire occurred. After scrutinizing the investigation with the family, everything was revealed, and the forensic report came out 100% correct. What happened was the confession of the mothers of the two families that they left the three children in the house of the family where the fire occurred, and that the mothers left them in the house despite their young age, the oldest of whom is 6 years old and the youngest is 4 years old, and they left the children in the house. They were alone, and they were very late during that period. The children were playing in the room, and one of the children started the fire, and they did not know what to do. It seemed that there was a lot of smoke, and because of this much smoke, the three children died of suffocation. At the moment the smoke from the fire began to appear, the two mothers arrived at the house and entered the room quickly and tried to put out the fire quickly. But they discovered that the three children had died and tried not to let any of the neighbors into the house at all. They were in a state of fear and terror from their husbands, so they sat thinking about how to act. The thought that came to the mothers' minds, unfortunately, was that they and he were the bodies of children and that they would make some wounds to oxidize them from the outside. They brought some large pieces of cloth and wrapped the three bodies in the piece of cloth and then put them in a black plastic bag and headed 40 kilometers away to a place under the Mariouteya Bridge and left the three bodies there in the hope that when people find the bodies of the children, people will understand that a kidnapping and organ theft had taken place, and this was the widespread situation at that time. They were arrested and certainly received a very appropriate punishment for the crime they committed. If it weren't for the forensic medicine and the forensic report, the crime could have actually been classified as kidnapping and organ theft. Peace be upon you.